Today we're talking about our INFJ Roman Empire, our 5 most common fixations. A couple of months ago, there was this huge trend. Guys were being asked, how often do you think about the Roman Empire? And some crazy answers just came about. People said once a day, once a week, and everybody looking at this was just blown away. Well, a huge new trend was started, as in, what is your Roman Empire? What do you think about all the time that other people wouldn't expect? Well, today we're looking at it from the INFJ lens. What are the things that we think about all the time that we get fixated on and that nobody else would ever expect? Before we get started, I want to remind you the next INFJ Epic Life Bootcamp is just around the corner. We launch January 27th, so make sure you're on that waiting list so you get access to the early bird price. Download the free and updated poster on the 5 pillars to an INFJ Epic Life, and I hope I see all of you in our free and live masterclass here on YouTube January 27th. Everything you need to know you can find in the links in the description. Our Roman Empire number 1. Thinking about a person we met 5 years ago, 10 years ago, the list goes on and on. So often, if we as INFJs have an obsession with one person, it doesn't just go away. This isn't just a crush we have for a couple of weeks. We get obsessed with this person, we get fixated on that person for years to come. Because it's not so much about who that person is, it's about what that person represents. Very often when we meet a person and it has a profound impact on us, there is something about this interaction that is forcing us to grow. And we're at this crossroad of what is going on. We're either going to convince the other person to see it from our perspective, or we actually have to change our worldview. Very often, if we get fixated on a person, it's because we have to grow, and we just don't want to, because growing in that situation actually means going through a lot of pain. There's something about this person, there's something about this interaction that brings up childhood trauma, things that we have experienced. And it doesn't have to be childhood trauma on like a big scale. It can just be some abandonment issues. It was some way where we didn't get our needs met the way we needed to. And we as INFJs, who generally look at things on a subconscious level, know very well when something like this has occurred. It's not that we look at that person and we say, oh, there's some childhood trauma here I need to get over. But we get fixated on that person because we know there's an answer we need here. It just very often feels to us like I need to save that person, or I need to understand what happened. I can't let go of it. So if you as an INFJs are going through something like this, remember there's a reason why you're fixated on that. But that doesn't mean that you'll find your answer through their reaction. It can be the fact that they don't have a reaction. It can be the fact that you're not getting the outcome that you want to. That is an answer in itself, and it will tell you that you won't find an answer out there. You have to find it for yourself. You have to get to a place where you know, oh, I'm feeling all of those emotions because all of the sadness that I'm feeling is based on something that happened in the past. It happened and I cannot change that no matter what I try. And I, as an adult, have to make sure that I will do what is best for me. And that starts with me starting to make my life better outside of that person. It's really hard for INFJs to stop that fixation. That's why we so often don't tell anybody about it, because it seems like so crazy, right? That's what the expression Roman Empire is all about. People cannot understand why you continuously think about these things, why you get fixated over this. It's on us to understand this is deeper than that. And the best way for us to get over it is not to tell ourselves, oh, stop fixating on this, but rather to start fixating on something positive instead. How I like to say, you can't tell yourself, stop thinking about the pink elephant. You have to tell yourself, let's start thinking about the yellow rabbit. And what is the yellow rabbit? Well, in your case, it's creating your INFJ Epic Life. Start creating a life that you want. How could you improve your life if this person wasn't an object? If they're in your life or not, despite that, what would you do to make your life more exciting for you? If you want some more help with this, then join our amazing community of INFJs in the INFJ Epic Life Bootcamp. We've been doing this for over 3 years now. It's a huge community, and we're all creating an INFJ Epic Life on our terms individually and together. Roman Empire number 2, we're not tapping into our own potential. It's one thing to not tap into our potential. Most people are not tapping into their potential. But the difference is we actually are fixated on it. We are so aware that we're not tapping into our potential if we're not, that we just can't let go of the fact. Does that mean we're taking action? In most cases, it doesn't mean that because we just don't know what to do. It feels like it's this ever-present thought in our mind that continuously tells us something is missing, life is happening outside of you. It's happening out there. There's like a window in between me and what could be happening, and I don't know how to get out of there. I'm here to tell you, as somebody who's experienced both scenarios, as somebody who has felt for decades, life is happening outside of me and I have no control over it. And now, for so many years, living in a state where I'm creating my life and I'm aware of what is in my control and I'm pushing and focusing on that it is definitely possible. And the moment you start taking action, like real world action, and you anchor yourself into your current reality, as in you look at where do I actually live? What are my current relationships? How is my prosperity? How am I sharing my purpose? If you really take inventory of where you are in your life, you can then take steps to making that better. I've seen so much profound changes from INFJs having done that. This is exactly what we focus on in bootcamp as well. And I'm here to tell you, you can definitely do it. Don't feel like you will have to live with this fixation for the rest of your life. Because the moment you start tapping into your potential and you're actually on a trajectory of fulfilling your destiny and on sharing your gifts and on fulfilling your potential, you'll never feel like it's something you continuously have to think about. It's just something that you do. It's somebody that you are, and you're never questioning it again. Roman Empire number 3, hiding your true selves. We as INFJs have been taught by society, and we've pretty much conditioned ourselves to believe that the way we are is wrong. It's just not acceptable. We feel like we're too big, we're too intense, we're too strong, we're everything but normal. And it seems like if we were completely ourselves, nobody would appreciate us. That's one of our fixations in life. We're so aware of it. A lot of people are playing a role, but they're not even thinking about it. It's just something that they do and they can sort of live with it. For us, it's something else. We're aware of it. We're fixated on it. It's something that continuously runs through our mind. I'm not being myself. I feel like nobody is seeing me. I don't feel connected. I don't feel understood. And it's all based on this aspect of yourself. And I'm here to tell you, it can be different. Every single one of us has the potential to change that. And it's not going to happen by you being completely yourself and then the people around you saying, oh, you're wonderful, you're great, this is amazing. No, it's going to require you to choose you, which means that you stop looking outside if people are going to tell you that you're special, that your ideas are great, or that there's something good about you. You're not going to get that feedback because the feedback that you're looking for, this void that you're trying to fill, the only person who can really fill it is you. And if you stop looking on the outside because you recognize you're never going to get the recognition that you want from the people around you, you can actually start giving it to yourself in such a way that you never feel misunderstood again. If you start connecting with your true self, if you start living out and presenting who you really are, if you say, well, my energy might be too big, I might take up too much space, I might be too intense, whatever it may be, that's who I am. I'd rather be disliked for who I am than to be liked for somebody I'm not. I'm not going to make compromises on that anymore. I'm choosing me. And you'll see, yes, a lot of people around you will actually distance themselves from you because before it was easier for them to be psychologically near to you because they thought you were weaker than you actually were, because you were more in need of their appreciation. Now you're more independent. Now you say, I can do this on my own. And yes, people will distance themselves. But you have to think of it like this. If you believe that the way you are is wrong, you're going to surround yourself with people and create closer relationships with people who believe that as well. Because automatically we connect with people who have similar beliefs like we do. And if we have the belief that there's something wrong with us, we're automatically are going to be more drawn to people who believe that as well. But if you make that choice, I'm me and I'm unapologetically me. I'm not hiding my true self anymore. People might think I'm weird. It might feel like I'm exiting every form of normal social interaction because that's how it feels like. You will make the best choice you ever made. Choose you, and you'll see how you'll have new connections with people. You'll see how so much of what you were looking for outside you can give to yourself, because then you start taking action into becoming the person who you are proud to be and who you are proud of becoming. That's one of our main goals in bootcamp as well, to really show you that you have everything you need to live that happy and fulfilled life. Don't give up on that. I promise you, you don't have to say to yourself, that's just how my life is. I'm going to stay misunderstood. I'm going to stay disconnected, and nobody is really giving me the feedback I'm looking for. It's a horrible feeling, and I promise you, it's not a feeling you have to live with. It's just that you'll find your answer in a different place than you're looking for. Roman Empire number 4. Feeling disconnected. So many INFJs do so much for other people, and we feel like we experience everything that they're experiencing. We're sort of connected to them, as in we attach ourselves to their world. We make them feel connected. But at the same time, we don't feel the connection we crave for so much. That's why from time to time when we meet a person and we feel like we have this great chemistry with them because it reminds us of, being at home, because there's some kind of dynamic here that we've experienced as children as well, we feel like that's my outlet. And that's why we, put everything into that, because we crave connection so much and we're not getting it. We feel isolated. But that's not going to be a healthy way to go. And if it were, we wouldn't be talking about it. All of us have experienced this. This is not leading us to where we want to be, because we're putting all our hope into this one person. And it's just not going to work, because the person who's going to make you feel connected has to be you first. And it's not going to happen by you hiding who you are and then showing everything to this one person. It's actually the other way around. It's about us saying, I'm going to be myself the way I am. I'm not going to hide who I am from the world anymore. Now I'm going to start being connected to life, because there's not going to be a disconnect between who I am and who I show to the outside. That does not mean that you have to tell every single person that you think about personal development, or that you listen to this kind of music, or that you have very strong beliefs in this area. It's just that you make conscious choices about not hiding parts of you that you think people are not going to like. Well, do you want them to like you for who you are, or do you want them to like you for the image you present to them? It will always make you feel disconnected. And as somebody who's experienced both, again, I promise you, it's a risk worth taking. You're never going to regret being yourself and saying, I'm not going to admit who I am. Find a version of yourself that you want to hold on to, that you say, this is the way I want to be seen. And once you say that, you're going to only connect with people who accept this version of you. It doesn't mean that they have to like it, but they can tolerate it. It's something that they can live with. And everybody who cannot live or doesn't want to be close to you, although this is an honest part of who you really are, doesn't belong in your life and is taking up space that could be open for people who can actually connect with you. And I promise you, you haven't met those people yet. You haven't met them because you're not reaching out to people through that version of yourself of who you really are, but through this image of, what you believe is going to be acceptable. You got what it takes to being your authentic self and to feeling connected all the time. Once you start this process, you won't feel disconnected anymore. You won't feel isolated. No matter how many people you have connections with or not, it'll just feel like you're connected to everything, because your life in itself starts from you. And everybody that you have a connection with has a connection with who you truly are. They might not see everything, but you're not actively hiding who you are anymore. And that makes the biggest difference. Roman Empire number 5, feeling misunderstood. INFJs are known to feeling misunderstood. And yes, a lot of people misunderstand us. But the thing is this, who is our audience? So often we talk about things to people that have no idea what we're talking about. And then we feel misunderstood. We then question ourselves. We feel like there's something wrong with us. I just have to translate who I am to them. Then they will get that I'm a good person, that, I want to do something good in the world, that there's something special about me, that there is a specific light that I carry. And no matter what we do, we're not going to get that feedback. And that's why we continuously think about that, because we tell ourselves, I've tried so much. I have tried to make myself small. I have tried to make myself bigger. I've tried to change myself and, put this filter on me so people just understand what I'm trying to say. People understand who I'm trying to be, and they will finally see me for who I want them to see me as. But it just won't work. That's not the right approach. And I've tried it millions of times. I've seen so many INFJs throughout the last 10 years doing this. It's something we all share. And that's why this is a Roman Empire, because we continuously think about this. I am misunderstood. What am I supposed to do? Like, I'm trying to do everything. But again, we're looking to find an answer at a place we can't find it. The point is to say, I'm not going to look and see if people understand me. Because the thing is this, how people perceive you has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with how they see the world. People will always sort of misunderstand you, not because you're an INFJ, it's just because they're not you. Even we as INFJs are not completely going to understand the other INFJ, because every single one of us has had a different history in their life, different circumstances, and different experiences. What we need is to stop feeling like we need to be understood. The moment you come to terms with the fact that you're not going to be understood, you're going to be free. Because yes, it's painful. Because in a lot of ways, we feel like we have to be something special for other people to appreciate you. But if you look at it from the perspective of, I know I'm special because I'm me. I know everything I've gone through. I've proven to myself that I'm valuable. I've proven to myself that, I'm doing great things with my life. And if I haven't, I'm going to start doing them now. I'm going to make myself proud of myself. I'm going to keep the promises I make to myself. And that in itself will make you excited. You'll stop looking outwardly into how are people going to react towards you. Are they going to understand you? You're going to look at it from the perspective of, I understand me. I know why I'm doing things. And I want to add value to the world one way or another. And people who get it will get it. And people who don't won't. But that's not on me. What is on me is if I show up. So remember this. If they don't get it, it's on them. If I don't bring it, it's on me. So it's not so much that you have to translate everything that you do. Just bring it out. Get your energy out. We are INFJs, and our second function is extroverted feeling. That's all about creating an emotion. Get it out of your system. You have so many ideas. Start expressing yourself. The moment you start expressing yourself without looking back at, oh, are people getting it? But more of, I'm expressing myself, I'm learning something about it, I have new ideas, I'm expressing them. And you go at it this way, you'll find so much more balance in your life, because then you're not going overboard with your introverted functions. You'll become this balanced version of yourself, and the people who resonate with what you have to offer will resonate with that. But that is based on how they see the world. That's not based on how they see you. They will have an interpretation of who you are, and that interpretation isn't going to be exactly who you are. It might not even be close, but that's none of your business. If people love you, if people hate you, if people understand you or they not, has absolutely nothing to do with you. But if you don't give people something that they could take value out of because you're afraid they're not going to understand it anyway, you're not even giving yourself the chance of feeling fulfilled. Remember, we want to share our gift. We want to make it available so somebody could potentially see this and get benefit out of it. When they see it, how they perceive it, what kind of benefit they get out of it, that's on them. But if you keep who you are to yourself because you're afraid of the reaction, because you're afraid nobody's going to appreciate it, you're always going to feel like something is missing. If you take on the responsibility of what is in your control, which is pretty much sharing who you are, You will feel fulfilled because you know you've done everything in your power to create that connection and to be understood and to have an impact on people through their lens, through how they interpret who you are, what you have to offer, and what your gift is. Remember, if you want assistance with all of this, we're not just talking airy-fairy things here. In bootcamp, we get down to business. This is all about taking action. This is all about changing our lives. We have a lot of experience with this so far. Hundreds of INFJs have gone through bootcamp. We've been doing this for 3 years, I think now, and it always keeps on developing. We have a new and updated version of the bootcamp. We've improved it based on all the experience that we've gathered through working with so many INFJs. So I'm really, really happy about this program and what it does for so many INFJs. So I hope to see many of you in this bootcamp round. It's the beginning of the year, so now is the best time to get started. Remember, we launched January 27. Make sure to be on that waiting list so you get access to the early bird price. Download the free and updated poster so you have an idea what the 5 pillars to an INFJ epic life are all about. And I hope to see all of you in our free and life masterclass here on YouTube, January 27th. Everything you need to know you can find in the links in the description. And if you want to watch another video now that is in line with today's topic, then watch the video you see here on the screen. See you in the next one. Bye, guys.